So, hello and welcome to my next chess game, playing against Monarch 1.0, and we have a Queen's Indian on the board here. Maybe. If I go knight c3, he might even go bishop b4. I could go for... yeah, g3 is kind of the main line here, right? But I don't want to go for the main line. Although the main line of the Queen's Indian is quite good against the Queen's Indian. Knight c3, bishop b4, a3, bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop b7, queen c2, bishop there. That's not what I want. e3 is also not what I want. Bishop I will go for bishop g5. So let's see. I mean, now I could go for a3 just to prevent bishop b4 when I go knight c3. And then I could go e4 anyway because of the pin. a3, d5, knight c3, pawn takes, e4. Could be something because b5 I have e5, and then I get the pawn back on the king side. So I will go for a3. It's something of a delayed. Can also go for c5, but okay, bishop there is also an idea. It really prevents me now from going e4. He can go knight e4, and I will grab the bishop. He grabs the knight. I grab the queen, he grabs my queen. I grab there, he grabs on b2, and he escapes. But still I can do that. I mean, nothing wrong with it. The other options are the options are e3 or pawn takes pawn. But if the pawn takes pawn, he's probably gonna go... if he goes bishop takes, I have bishop takes, and e4 kicking the bishop back, and then I can go e5. So, but pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, e4. Still I get this e4 in. So I think I'll go for pawn takes in the center. Yeah, okay. He does pawn takes. It's also a valuable option. And not just e3. It's hemming in his bishop, but it's not so terrible for him. Okay, he castles. We have a normal position here on the board. So let's see. Knight e4. And knight e4 is somewhat of a pain. If I go bishop d3, knight e4, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, it's not possible. Bishop d3. I mean, I can go for bishop b5, but a6 kicks my bishop back. Bishop a4. b5. Bishop c2, it doesn't really help me. I mean, I could go for it. If he goes c6, it kind of makes sense, and then I put the bishop back on e2 and kind of gain something. Then he can go c5, but it's kind of the same thing if I go bishop e2 immediately. But bishop b4, what does it do actually? It doesn't do anything. Bishop e2, queen c2, castles queen. I don't want a castle queen set. I want a castle king set. I like to attack on the king set, but I simply can't. I could go knight. Knight e5 looks interesting. Knight e5. Followed up with f5. f4. I think I'll do that. I mean, if I wait for it, knight e5, and then I can also go f3 if his knight lands there. So we'll go for that. I mean, knight d7 looks kind of normal. What about h4 here? h4, pawn takes knight e5, queen h4, and it's kind of over for him. But pawn takes. If he doesn't react to that, then I take the knight and play queen h4 anyway. h5. But I think h4 is just not so great here. I could go safe with bishop there. I could go pawn here anyway. Yeah, I think I will go for h4. I will try it. At least, I mean... Okay, he takes it. Pawn takes, attacking the knight. And now g3. Okay, I have to take the knight now, because otherwise he jumps away. No, I don't have to. Yeah, I have to. He goes here. So I take the knight. And now I could go for queen g4. And things like that. Queen g4, bishop takes, knight, pawn takes, knight. Pawn takes. I mean, the alternative... No, there is no real alternative to queen g4. Queen g4 forces bishop takes knight, because I kind of have a threat here. Also, queen g4 pairs castles queenside. So I think I will go for queen g4. Bishop takes, I can go queen f3, threatening mate. How does he prevent that? Actually, queen g4 looks really nice. Queen g4. Queen here. I don't see how he's preventing my attacking idea here. I mean, I will go queen f3, h3, right? How is he saving himself? Bishop there, I will go g3. And then I'll win a piece, right? Rook here, okay, that's good. That's kind of nice, because knight g6 wouldn't have worked. If I go queen h7 immediately. I mean, f4 looks bit more tempting. f4 followed up with bishop d3. I mean, I could also go queen there, king f8. Knight takes, pawn takes, doesn't work. Queen h2, h7, check. King f8, f4. Because bishop d3 with the idea of bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, check, winning the queen doesn't work because he eliminates the knight. So how should I start this? With f4 or queen? That check. Probably it doesn't really matter. But I will give this check just so that... And then go f4, bishop d3. f4, bishop d3 is the idea. And now bishop d3. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight. And I'm threatening mate again. So he has to move the queen. I mean, bishop e2 also looks nice, but bishop d3 kind of forces him to take that pawn. To take the knight. And otherwise I'll take his g6 pawn with the bishop. But he takes a knight. I take with the pawn, threatening mate. Queen e6. It's kind of bad. Then castles queenside. Take there, I take that. So with the rook I go to f8. I mean, it's the most aggressive setup. Bishop b5. No, I will go there. Bishop d3. I have 13 minutes left on the clock. Threatening bishop takes g6. Bishop g6. He can still take the knight. He can still take the knight. Bishop g6, he takes a knight. And I don't really have anything. Fortunately, his bishop is covering a lot of stuff here. I don't want to take his knight. But I don't see a different way because he's attacking the d-pawn. I mean, I could try for something. Where is the mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay, I could castle queenside. He takes there. I take, he takes with the knight. I go rook f8. Yeah, but what does rook f8? What is rook f8 doing? I mean, I could also take the knight and castle. That's also a possibility. Take the knight and castle. Or a different way of doing things is knight e2. Still. Knight e2, he takes there, I take with the pawn. And I'm still quite safe there. Bishop takes, doesn't really work. Bishop takes g6 doesn't really work because he goes probably knight takes, pawn takes and bishop g7. No, he does bishop takes pawn. Bishop takes knight. Although it could work. If I have castled, then it would work maybe, because then I could get a rook on the f-file, which is then probably pretty open. The other idea is g4. g4, pawn takes g5, and then he takes the knight. I take the pawn and he takes queen takes, and he covers that square again. What about knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes? He takes my queen and I don't really have attacking chances. So, castles. He takes on d4. I go bishop takes, g6. He goes knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop takes, oh, bishop takes, pawn takes. Pawn takes, rook f8 check. He goes to d8. What's the point? Queen takes. Check. King there. and rook here winning the queen, right? So let's cover this again. Castle's queen side. Pawn takes d4, bishop takes g6. He doesn't react to this, he takes the knight. Bishop takes pawn, and he cannot defend the mate, so that's good. So he kind of has to eliminate the knight. If he goes knight takes pawn takes, I'm attacking the bishop. And it doesn't really matter, he has to take it. Then I have a bishop there, and I can pin the pawn. I mean, it looks so interesting that I might even go for it, but I don't know. So let's cover it again. Castle's queen side. Pawn takes pawn. Bishop takes g6. Bishop takes pawn takes. Pawn takes rook there, check. He has to go there. Queen takes check. He cannot cover. He has to go there, and then rook here, winning the queen. So I will castle queenside and see what happens. If he takes the knight, I'm taking with the d pawn. He takes the pawn, and I covered bishop takes g6. So why not do it? Bishop takes g6, pawn takes knight. Bishop takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn. Check. I go to b8. So let's cover it again. Bishop takes g6. Pawn takes g6, knight takes check, winning the queen. Bishop takes pawn takes. Bishop takes pawn. Bishop. Okay, he has to grab the knight on e5. So bishop takes, pawn takes rook. There, check. Rook f1, check. King there. Queen takes check, and rook h7, winning the queen. Bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Pawn takes. Check. Blocks with the bishop, rook check. Goes there, I go there, check. Check. Then I go rook f8. I will do it anyway, I don't know. I mean, he takes the knight with the knight probably, and then doesn't take the bishop. Yeah. Probably he takes even the other knights. No, he does bishop takes. Yeah, he does bishop takes pawn. That's kind of a problem, isn't it? I mean, what do I have? I could take this. I can take this later as well. It feels so bad having such a great position and then doing such a stupid thing. I planned on bishop takes pawn, but it doesn't work. At least I think it doesn't. Bishop takes, queen takes, rook f1. Bishop f6. Queen there. And the alternative is rook there immediately, but bishop f8 still. I don't really have an attack there, right? I'm actually just down. What am I down? I'm not that much down actually. I'm actually nothing down. I could take this and be quite happy with my position. What am I talking? I mean, he has 2 bishops. I have a bishop and a knight. He has 4 pawns. I have 4 pawns. So I can take this and be quite happy with my position. So my calculations weren't that bad. Although when I take this, he goes bishop f4 check. So it's not so simple. I could go rook there fast, pinning the pawn. He can take the knight. I take here with check, and it's over for him. So he cannot take the knight. Rook f8. I have 5 minutes 30 left on the clock. So rook f1. Rook f1. Bishop f6. And then I can just grab the pawn. Yeah, and be kind of happy with my position. Oh, he covers it that way. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. So can I sacrifice a knight? Probably can't. I need to get rid of his bishop. But how? But how? I mean, what? Am I not just winning a queen here? It's not so simple. First I'm grabbing this and then I'm grabbing that, right? Yeah. Because if I grab this immediately, he grabs with the queen, I grab with the bishop, he grabs with the rook, my queen is attacked as well as the knight. And if I check him, he goes bishop there. That's not good. It's definitely not good. So I will grab this and then take the queen for 2 pieces. Yeah. So rook takes. There isn't much else than that. Okay, my attack is kind of over. Kind of. Not definitely. I could go to d1. Right? Yeah, I will go to d1, attack the bishop. 3 pawns each. Bishop and the rook versus a queen. Oh, I cannot go there, sorry. Just, that's kind of funny. So let's go there. Attack the bishop, and if the bishop moves, I can maybe take the pawn. So I hope he takes the knight. He doesn't. Okay, fortunately. So knight takes rook f8, right? Yes. So how am I doing that now? How am I doing that? I mean, I don't really have an attack on the queen side, on the king side, so I should probably do something now on the... I don't really want to push that pawn, that's for sure. I want to check him on b5, and he goes to g8. Or I want to put the rook behind the pawn. This time I was doubling. So rook here, he wants to go f5. But I want to push g4. I have to play fast now, because I'm down on 4 minutes and 5 seconds or something. So g4, d4, it's not bad. Yeah, g4. I want to get this pawn as far as possible. If he pushes... Where should I put my king actually? On c8 is quite dangerous to have it on c8. Push, push. Right. Push, push. If he takes my knight, I have to take with the pawn. Always remember that, because otherwise I'm losing back the queen. Bishop takes, pawn takes is not a threat. If I push, he goes to c8, to c7. Yeah, and now it's probably best just to move the king. I mean, I could also try and do something like this. Takes, takes, rook takes, it's not good. So I'm probably losing a pawn now. But is it that bad? What about queen here? Bishop takes. No, I cannot go there anyway. So I should probably just go there. Allow bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and then I go queen f5. Yeah, if I get rid of one of his pieces, it's not so bad. And I have 3 minutes 30 left on the clock. Yeah, bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen f4. Threatening a mate into... Okay, he does that. He does that. Doesn't take it. Push, rook takes, king takes. And queen here check, winning the rook. No, the rook is not there anymore. What's the thing here? Okay, I have to play, so I'm playing that. Rook here. Okay, let's put the rook over there. I'm covering that one. If he pushes, yeah, that's okay. Don't panic. You still have time. You still have time. Probably rook there. Covering the second rank. Covering the second rank. Okay, now king there. Because I don't want this with check. Although it doesn't really matter. But I will go to a1 anyway. I will go to a1 anyway. I hope he'll take the pawn, because that be great. What about rook? There, check. King takes, queen here, check. He goes there. Queen there, he goes there, I go there. No, that's not on the cards. I could push it. Yeah, I will push it. I have only 3 minutes 21 seconds left on the clock. Okay, bishop here. I'm probably losing that pawn now, but I can at least get rid of one of his rooks. I can get rid of one of his rooks. It's very difficult to win this, though. I mean, I have to take that pawn, right? I have a queen versus a rook and the bishop, still 2 pawns each. Activating the king. Queen here check doesn't do anything, it just blocks. Or pushing the pawn. And probably for activating the king. But I have to be pretty careful. Okay, he can't go bishop there because of queen e5 check. Okay, pushing is not on the cards yet, so I'm just gonna advance the king even further. 4 minutes. Okay, I gained some time. Okay, he threatens that pawn now. I could give a check. activating the queen. King here. Tricks I don't have, so I might as well go there. Defend my pawn, everything on a dark square, so he has no tricks. No real tricks, fortunately. So he goes there. If I push, he takes. I don't have anything. But I have 4 minutes left on the clock. So what about queen here? It doesn't do anything. I need to get behind of my pawn and cover all of them to push it. But I want to get it to d4 first. It shouldn't be hard, actually. I'm just gonna play my queen there. Yeah, I'm just gonna play my queen there and push the pawn. If he goes bishop here or there, I have queen here check. So now just push the pawn. Now just push the pawn. Queen here, push it further. Also, I have this check now. So what is he going to do? Queen here check. Pushing this back. Okay, he defends that square pretty well. I cannot take that because I'm losing this pawn and he defends that one, and I cannot push further. Could try and move in where the light squares. Going there. This is probably the safest course of action. And not just king here, right? If he takes the pawn, I'm pushing. Rook versus queen and 2 pawns. That's terrible. I don't know if I'm winning that. Can he take that pawn? I don't... My queen is there then. No, he can't. I go here. He takes the pawn. I go there. He takes, I take. Yeah, I'm threatening this, but it's his move. So he goes there and he has kind of a fortress and it's a draw. I think I cannot break through. So I need to keep that pawn and eliminate that bishop. If I go here, he just takes it. If I go here, he just takes it. But then I go there. He takes with the bishop and I take the rook. So king b5. King b5. Rook takes a3. Pawn here. Rook e5. Rook a5 check. That's the problem. That's the problem. If I push to a4, it's probably worth it pushing it to a4. Okay, now he prevents my king from coming in. If I push h5 now, h5 he takes. I go there. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, my king can't do so much, but I can go there, trying to eliminate one of his pawns. If he pushes, takes, king takes, and then I have a pawn, and everything is all right. So I'm going there, still keeping an eye on that pawn. He has no rook here check, winning the queen because just covering everything. So pawn takes. Pawn takes, king takes. What's the deal here? Now I have an extra pawn as well. Okay, he goes rook there. Fair enough. 2 minutes 35 seconds left on the clock. If I go king here, he gives a check. I go there, he takes my queen. I take with the pawn and it's a draw. Or is it? Yeah, well, it's a draw, yes. So I cannot cross now. I will go back with the queen just to avoid those tricks. And now if I go there, he gives a check. I go there. I can go there immediately. Then he cuts me off, but then I'm pushing. So better on the dark square. I have really great winning chances here. Really great winning chances. So rook, king here. Bishop there is not possible. I'm attacking the rook. He can't go there and I'm pushing. But if I push, he still takes it. Oh, that's his idea. It doesn't really matter. I cannot cross this square anyway. So how is this winning from it? It must be winning, but I don't know how. And figuring this out in 1 minute 50 seconds is pretty difficult. I need to get behind the pawn. So first I'm attacking the rook. I mean, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. So rook here. Now my king covers the pawn. No, I should. No, I don't. I will go there. 1 minute 35 left. Rook here. Figuring this out is pretty difficult. Check. First of all, I'm giving that check. I mean, I have to do something anyway. Queen here, king here. Check, he goes there. Check, winning the rook, so he can't. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Figuring that one out. It's very difficult. King here, covering my pawn. Yeah, rook here. That's a pretty annoying thing. King here. Such a moron. I'm a moron. Oh my god. Now I really need a cigarette because it was such a great game. Yeah, now I can resign, right? Pawn here, pawn there. Takes it with the bishop. No, he gives a check and wins it anyway. It doesn't really matter. Now I'm resigning. Yeah. It was really good. It was really good. It was, I think, one of the better games I played against Monarch here. Knight there, h5, takes, g4, takes, queen g4. It was very nice. I really played it well. A very nice attacking game. But I really didn't have much time, and in the end I blundered. Anyway, okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.